action head-to-head, we go to Roadhouse. So, Roadhouse, this is the new film that is up on Amazon Prime. And you might recognize the name Roadhouse because if you were a child of the 80s, you might remember Patrick Swayze and his iconic line of "Pain Don't Hurt." And this is a remake of that, made by Doug Liman, starring, oh my God, Sean, you've just put up a poster and you just
Jake
reminded me of a
Gyllenhaal.
character. Yes, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, but you just reminded me of a character in this film that I hated.
Yes. Oh,
Oh
Coach,
my
good. I'm
God,
gonna,
I
I'm gonna
hated,
enjoy this one.
hated that character.
Yeah,
So, like, okay, so this is the film, and the whole idea behind it is that you kick off, and you kick off in an underground sort of like MMA fight, where these people are almost like bare knuckle boxing underground and stuff. And there's, if anybody knows who Post Malone is, Post Malone shows up in this bare knuckle fight, is fighting somebody, and Jessica Williams shows up as someone who owns a bar. And she's looking to hire somebody to be a bouncer at the bar because he's having some trouble from some local yahoos, and she wants somebody to be a bouncer to actually help sort things out. And she's gone there to look at the person who wins this fight. But the guy who she goes there to hire, after he wins the fight, they say, "Do we have any challengers? Any challengers?" And then this hooded character walks into the ring, takes his hood off in one go, and it's Jake Gyllenhaal with his 16 gajillion abs. And Post Malone takes one, looks at him, and goes, "No, I'm not fighting him. No way am I fighting him. No, I'm not fighting him." And so because he forfeits the match, Jake Gyllenhaal gets all the money. And Jessica Williams goes, "I almost didn't recognize you. I know who you are now. I came in for him, but I want you. I want you to come work for me. I want you to come work for me at this bar. I can pay you this amount of money each week. I can give you like board and all that." And there's things that show up that whoever this Jake Gyllenhaal character is has fallen on hard times. He's not quite in the best rate of mind. There's a bit that he has that involves a car and an oncoming train. Then he decides to take up her job, and he goes down to Florida, to the Florida Keys. He goes into the Florida Keys to take on the job and go work as a bouncer at this roadhouse that's simply called Roadhouse. This is all pretty much the storyline of the film from the Patrick Swayze film from the 80s. And then what goes on is that he goes on there and it's about him helping sort stuff out, and then you get to figure out why people keep trying to trash her bar, and you get to figure out that there's actually this big conspiracy where some big person wants to get rid of her bar so he can build condos for rich people, and she is the last holdout. Blah. Essentially, all these are very, very sort of like common action tropes. If you've seen the first Roadhouse, you've heard some of these things before, and it goes through him training other people at the bar, and then at some point something happens where all of a sudden he's one of the guys who is roughing up the bar and gets beaten up by him goes, "Yeah, he's a really nice guy though. I mean, yeah, like he beat us all up, but he drove us to the hospital to get our wounds looked at." and he is a really nice guy and he's everything like that until something happens, and then he isn't a nice guy. And so that's pretty much the storyline from it. Sean, what did you think of this?
Yeah, what did I think of this? So for a start, I mean, obviously, I'm comparing it to the other one, really, I guess, because
Well,
the
yeah,
other
I
one's
think
like
it's,
trying to
you
part of
can't
the thing.
help but
And
compare it to
no,
the 80s one, yeah.
I didn't like the setting in Florida. I didn't think there was enough on the. I mean, in the first one, you get a build up about the story. It's a lot more about the bar. It's the thing, the
Yeah.
interaction between the people, and it was just the bar wasn't the Roadhouse wasn't really in it at all. Basically, it was just like a setting for a few set pieces. Yeah, I didn't, and a lot of inconsistencies in the film, like when he decides he's gonna go. You know, it's like, I don't think you would do that. It just, to me, it was just like, why all
Yeah,
of a sudden you've done all this, and then there's
yeah,
like a change of heart, and I'm like, come on, man. You know, I mean, that's not you. The character all the way through, you've suddenly changed your character. You know,
yeah. I'd
and
agree with that. I'd agree
you
with
know the
that.
bit I'm talking about, yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, that you be in it for the long haul. You know what I mean? And everything was really, really convenient for the setup, for the fine. It just like, oh right, okay, well, we know, yeah, that's going to happen. So what's going to happen? He's going to change his mind again, and yeah, so I wasn't so keen on that. And as for, is it Conor McGregor, that dude?
Oh, Conor McGregor was so
My God,
annoying.
so annoying.
Oh, I hate
Just
it.
over the top. Yeah,
I
thank you.
hate it. Like once that character shows up on screen,
You've got like,
I
yeah,
feel like the film takes a bit of a dive once he
big
shows up.
time,
He
big
is
time.
so annoying. He is. I feel like.
Sorry,
Sorry.
for you, Toes. You're getting some of it's rubbing off.
No, honestly, because I think this film, right? I think that what you're talking about the inconsistencies and everything like that, they almost coincide exactly with the moment Conor McGregor shows up.
McGregor shows up, yeah.
And the second that Conor McGregor shows up, I feel like that's when all of it, because the way the character is, okay, Conor McGregor is not an actor; he's an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
And I think he is a kind of Marmite character in real life. Some people absolutely love him. Some people actually absolutely loathe him. I'm probably going more to the I don't like him side. Yeah. And I'm not sure whether this character in the film of Knox is him. Is the character being terrible, or is just him being Conor McGregor on screen? But either way, he just unbalances the film. He totally unbalances the film. It's like he's in his own little world, which is very true for the actual Conor McGregor. He's in his own little world while this film is happening around him, but he's unbalancing everything. And the thing is, before he shows up, this film is almost kind of like, like a little buddy thing, and you get into like the whole Jake Gyllenhaal thing, and there might be a little bit of a romance going on with Daniela Melchior and everything. And even there's this bit where they talk about, looking for the croc, and they keep talking about this croc. And when the croc when the croc actually shows up, it's quite. I actually found that quite funny when the croc actually shows up. And the way people keep talking about the croc is like, they're not going to find him. Crocs hide the food.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and that scene with the policeman in the boat, it's like. But anyway,
but then there is a bit where it seems as if they had a certain groove that they were going along in the film, and then they went, "Oh no, but we've got to make like an early 90s action movie, so we've got to find a reason to have a boat chase, and we've got to find a reason for that to happen, and we've got to find a reason for this, and we've got to find a reason for corrupt police officer." And then it just starts. Then it's almost like as if it starts playing early 90s movies action movie bingo. We've got to put that in there. We've got to put that in there. We've got to put that in there.
I think it was like a sort of token thing, from the Roadhouse thing. I think it was, I don't know, just going through the motions, hoping that it would.
Was there a Sam Elliott type character as a parallel?
No, there is no Sam Elliott type character.
I was expecting. I was wondering when
when
someone's going to come in and get manned, but.
That does, and actually, because I watched these back to back on 2 different nights, and I feel like some of the problems that this Roadhouse has exist in the previous Roadhouse.
Right.
So the whole thing about where it's also like Zen and everything, and Patrick Swayze's all kind of like, you got to be nice to people, everything like that. Then all of a sudden it starts ripping people's throats out.
I did. The thing is with the original, I did like the story because a lot of it took place in the bar, and it was about him training up the bouncers to handle So he did. I mean, in this there was a little bit of a nod where he did take a little bit of a backseat, but just not enough of that, and it was. Whereas before there was much more of a.
There was much more in the bar. There was more about the band in the bar. I do like the fact that I think. In the first one, they had this band that kept playing in the bar. Yeah. And whenever there was a fight going on, the band never stopped playing. They just kept playing all the way through. And they keep that going. And it's very, only that in this one, I think they have a lot of Florida native bands who play. Yes. So they don't just have one band. The same thing happens whenever there's a fight. The bar is getting burned around them, and they just keep playing until the song finishes. They don't stop.
I think Florida was the wrong setting for it, to be honest.
One thing is, I like the Florida setting. I mean, obviously it was beautiful. They had things like the bit where they take a boat out, and the boat's seemingly in the middle of the ocean, and then they get out of the boat and they're seemingly standing on the ocean in the middle. So there's bits about it. I mean, I don't have. I mean, the original one I think was Missouri. This is Florida. I don't have a thing either way. I think that the bad guy in the 80s one is stronger than and the resolution of that is stronger. And there is actually a case in which this new Roadhouse isn't actually a Roadhouse film. It's actually a Jack Reacher film.
Jack Reacher
in another guise. Because this film is like a Reacher story. This new one is like a Jack Reacher story.
I did find the comedian guy the sort of one of the hoods, but he was sort of quite a
Oh
nice
yeah,
hood.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Arturo,
That-
Arturo. He was played by Arturo Castro.
Yeah, 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 he's like-
I loved that character.
Yeah, that character.
I loved.
He was my
favourite.
favourite character. He wasn't in it a lot, but he was like,
Yeah,
I liked him.
he's just kind of like Jake Gyllenhaal. He's like, oh, hey man, it's like, yeah, it's look, I'm not really a bad guy. I just really like motorbikes, and they were the only guys who were riding motorbikes in Florida. So the only way I could ride motorbikes was to join a gang, and he's quite funny. He is quite funny, yeah. But I feel like there is a sort of there is a tone issue where it starts off as one film, ends up as another film. It's a Jack Reacher film in disguise, and Conor McGregor. Oh my God, Conor McGregor loses this film a star because it's just sucks. that character just sucks. It just unbalances the whole film for me, and he's on screen way too much.
Yeah, definitely.
He's on screen way too much, and then at the end. The way that oh my God, and then
let's not go there. You're depressing me. Just how many stars are you going to give it, Toes?
Oh God, I'm thinking about the end now, and I'm thinking about the sequel baiting and Conor McGregor's bum, and it's a low 3. It's a low 3.
I agree. A low 3.
I dabbled with a 2 there for a second, mainly because of the Conor McGregor character, but it's a low 3.
It's a low 3. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Cool. Now let's move.